Welcome to another session of Hector's Spirit Time. Today I want to talk about spirit. A lot of people ask me many different questions, so I will do the next few recordings just on that. Today I want to cover our spirit, the spirit that we live in this particular body in this lifetime. First, we choose our mission. So our spirit, before it's born, it decides to be born into a specific family, the sex, the type of life it's going to have. In other words, the accomplishments, the setbacks, the things that it will try to clear up from past lives. Because let's face it, if we had perfect lives, we wouldn't have to come to live in a temporary body to learn lessons. Our souls are eternal. Our bodies are very temporary. In each mission or each time we come, we have a different learning experience, as it were. Recently, I had a situation where a lady called me, and in the middle of remember, I don't see them because all my readings are over the phone. So she called, and the first thing that comes up, did you have a recent person pass in your family? And of course, she started crying. Her granddaughter had recently passed. I asked her how the mother or her daughter was doing, and she says she felt very guilty because the way it happened, the mother felt she could have prevented it. But as I developed the reading and I looked at the granddaughter's soul, I understood. And I asked her, during the pregnancy of your daughter, were there many times that she could have lost that child? She goes, yes. We had been in the hospital at least 5 to 7 times, put her on bed rest. All kinds of things had to happen for that child not to be miscarried or aborted. And I explained to her why I asked her that, because that soul was never meant to be born. That pregnancy was not meant to be for that soul to be born. It was always meant to be some kind of miscarriage. Whatever that mission for that soul is not the important part. It's for that mother to have understood that there was nothing she could have done. Just because science and technology was able to bring that baby to term did not mean because the universe had already slotted that for a non-birth. And so when she spoke with the daughter and explained to her, the daughter called me and I clarified a lot of things for her like that. And she felt a lot better because she now understood that it wasn't something she could have prevented. You must understand that there's certain destined things, but what we do here is still free will. You could have selected a certain type of mission here on Earth in a specific body, and then as you're born, there's other things that come into play. Yes, we're born, we're die. Somewhere in between, we have free will. And if you stand in front of a bus, you die. And that comes to another set of questions that often come to me. What happens with suicides? I used to run a spiritual center. In this center, I developed a lot of mediums, and I had doors open twice a week from 7 p.m. to midnight. As many people as could fit, which at the time were 50 chairs. We always had them packed. Before the sessions, I always discussed with the mediums to hang up their baggage at the door. At that moment, we are not there to worry about us, but rather we're there to help those who come. So as people come in, we would clean their energy and remove any attachments, spirit attachments. Remember, sometimes when we pass, we don't move on to the beyond because our deaths are traumatic, unexpected, whatever the reason, we stay stuck on this plane. We left a son, a daughter, a spouse, some reason that the spirit does not choose to move on. After a while, that is what becomes a haunt. When people say this house is haunted, this place is haunted. So, our job, of course, is to help the person. But the reality is our job is to help that spirit that's stuck, attached to that person. When we help that spirit move on, that person feels better. The things that have been corrupted or difficult in their lives become easier because that energy that was never meant to be around them leaves. Remember, everything is choice. We choose to do certain things or not do certain things. So back to people who commit suicides. What's happened over the years, I've had conversations with many spirits who were suicides, and the one common theme is they were all stuck here. No matter what anybody did, prayers, church, elevation, all kinds of rituals. When you commit suicide, this is my experience speaking to all these types of spirits, they are made to stay here, watching life go on for their family, their friends, unable to participate, unable to even reach them until the moment they were due to pass, as their lifeline was destined to be. So what am I saying? It does no good to commit suicide, because basically you're still stuck here. Let's say if you were supposed to die at 80 and you committed suicide at 27, you have 53 years to wait. Sad, but there's always another chance tomorrow, but not if you commit suicide. While we're talking about spirit, our spirit, we are learning lessons in a physical body. When we get to a certain point that our spirit no longer needs to come and possess a body in a physical life, we become what's called spirit helpers. You know how everybody says there's a guardian angel or a spirit guide? Well, there's many other spirits of lesser degrees. These are the ones that are evolving. They're still doing missions. Let's say you were a prominent attorney or a cook or a dancer. You then are attracted to and connected with somebody who's living that has that particular trait. Let's say you're going through medical school. You can be a doctor who knows everything about books, but those great doctors who have intuition beyond that, that is what that spirit helper gives. That spirit helper who had that history of being a great doctor would attach to that person and inspire them to look beyond what they've learned in book, to understand certain things that otherwise only the book would have shown. I had the situation one time where I was cleaning this gentleman, and in the middle I said, what do you do for a living? He says, well, I work on a cruise line. I said, wow, but when you were young, didn't you want to be a baker or something? She goes, until I was 18 years old, I always wanted to be a chef. I cooked for everybody. And he asked me, how could you know that? I said, because the main spirit helper around you is that of a cook, a chef, a baker. Had you chosen that profession, which they tried to inspire you to do, you would have gone through the roof. You could have been a great chef, baker. But you chose something different. That doesn't mean you're bad at it. It just means that it was not the destined path that your soul was geared to do. We have many throughout our lifetimes. We have many. So you not only have one path. So in another situation, I met a lady and I spoke to her and I said, look, your husband and you guys have known each other from multiple lifetimes. Wasn't it the case that when you met him, it was like an instant connection, a recognition? She goes, yes. I said, in another lifetime, you guys were together. It did not work out well, so the universe placed both souls together. So in this lifetime, there would be an opportunity to fix whatever was wrong in that one lifetime. And I explained to her further where I saw the souls living. And she says, you know, we've been to that place a few times. For some reason, it draws us. So if you, for example, are drawn to Asia or to Europe or certain places, more likely, previous lifetimes, your soul has been there. We are drawn to something from our past. In their case, I explained how I saw the husband being a nurse and perhaps female, and I saw her being something in uniform, maybe a police officer or military, and male. And she laughed because she said in this lifetime, he was an attorney and she was a doctor. So exactly the same roles, simply reversed. There's a lot of things that we don't know, because when we come here, our memories, our spirit memories, are erased so that we can live this lifetime as is. When we pass, and that is one of the reasons that when we evolve, we come back to that knowledge of why we were here, why we chose this family, why certain things happened to us, and where this took us, and how much we accomplished of what we were meant to do. There's much, much more to spirit, but I will leave this lesson as is. Don't forget, if you go to the website or to the YouTube channel, register, subscribe. I try to put one of these a week out, if not more, so that you can stay up to date. I cover certain different segments, and some I will cover nothing but cleansings. It depends on what people ask of me. So if you have any ideas, I will be glad to entertain and put them as part of the center. Right now we have, I believe it's 36 recordings. I'd like to do at least 200. So please make a request and I will try to make it so for you. Until next time, thank you.